In a moment, I'm going to play a clip from the coronation where King Charles is asked to take an oath to maintain the laws of God and uphold the true profession of the gospel to the best of his abilities, and where he will be asked to make a profession that he is a faithful Protestant. Now, the reigning monarch has a title which is Defender of the Faith and Supreme Governor of the Church of England. And I'm going to speak about why this is all problematic. Then I'm going to look into the future of the monarch with Prince William. When he was asked at an LGBT charity event, how would you feel if your children came out as gay or lesbian?
Will you, to the utmost of your power, maintain the laws of God and the true profession of the gospel? Will you, to the utmost of your power, maintain in the United Kingdom the Protestant Reformed religion established by law? Will you maintain and preserve inviolably the settlement of the Church of England and the doctrine, worship, discipline and government thereof, as by law established in England? And will you preserve unto the bishops and clergy of England and to the churches there committed to their charge all such rights and privileges as by law do or shall appertain to them or any of them?
All this I promise to do. The things which I have herebefore promised, I will perform and keep, so help me God. I, Charles, do solemnly and sincerely, in the presence of God, profess, testify and declare that I am a faithful Protestant, and that I will, according to the true intent of the enactments which secure the Protestant succession to the throne, uphold and maintain the said enactments to the best of my powers according to law.
So here we see that King Charles makes a profession that he is a faithful Protestant and that he is going to uphold the laws of God and the true profession of the gospel. Now, first of all, we have to ask, what is the true gospel? Because there's a lot of people that would have been tuning into this event that have no idea what the gospel is. This might have been their first time even seeing some sort of formalized Christian event like this. And they're hearing King Charles say that he's a faithful Christian, he's a faithful Protestant, and that he is going to defend the gospel. So they're going to look to him and think this is what a Christian looks like. They're going to look to his actions, and that's going to paint their picture of Christianity and being a Christian. One thing we can say about the gospel is that it is an exclusive way to God. John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Such a fundamental part of the gospel. Let's examine some of the comments that King Charles has made and some of the things that at his behest were put into the ceremony, which has always been traditional Protestant for hundreds of years. Let's have a look at this and see if in fact he is being true to the oath that he made. So in an often cited documentary in 1994, this was some time ago, he said that he preferred to embrace all religious traditions and, quote, the pattern of the divine, which I think is in all of us. Then what it says here is that Charles, as heir to the throne, has said in the past that he has felt more of defender of faith rather than a defender of the faith, meaning the Christian faith, the Protestant Christian tradition. He says that people have fought to death over these things, which seems to me a peculiar waste of people's energy when we're all aiming for the same ultimate goal. And that's a peculiar statement, that we're all aiming for the same ultimate goal, and I'll come back to that one. Also, at an unprecedented twist at the behest of the new king, the coronation will acknowledge that Britain is no longer an exclusively Christian country, but a multi-faith nation. And then we see he included specifically people from a range of religions to fulfill important roles within the ceremony. There were representatives from the Jewish, the Sunni, the Shiite Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Baha'i, and Zoroastrian communities. They were the first ones in the processions, and then there were four faiths which played an important role in handing Prince Charles some of the royal objects during the ceremony. Lastly, we see that it says that the Royal Mail has issued a new postage stamp to mark the coronation, which features a Hindu, Muslim, Sikh and Jewish figures with a mosque, temple, gurdwara and synagogue in the background. So what we see here is this is actually a move towards ecumenism, which is a joining together of the religions coexisting. As he said, we're all seeking the same goal. It's this view that we're all climbing the same mountain, we're all just coming up from different sides, but we're all in unity and we're all reaching for the same thing, which is completely different to what the gospel teaches, as I pointed out when Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth and the life." Now, I would have no problem at all in a country, an organisation, a monarchy, anything, saying that we are a multi-faith nation, and I believe that individuals have the right to practice whatever faith they choose to practice. But when you have a monarchy which has the title Defender of the Faith and Supreme Governor of the Church of England, it's very confusing and problematic when then all of a sudden all of these faiths are integrated into the ceremony, which has never been done before and it didn't need to be done. And all of a sudden it's very clear to see that he's not upholding the true gospel and he isn't in fact a faithful Protestant. He is moving towards ecumenism to appease a wider group of people. And this sort of oath all of a sudden becomes really a meaningless oath, an empty ritual with no substance to it. Jesus said in 15:8, when he was quoting Isaiah, "These people, they honour me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." And that's what we see. These are just empty words. We see in James chapter 5:12, it says, "But above all, my brothers, do not swear either by heaven or by earth or by any other oath, but let your yes be yes and your no be no, so that you may not fall under condemnation." And now, I'm not saying that there can't be any royal oath in the ceremony, but the purpose here is that if you're making an oath, if you're making a pledge to something relating to God in particular, and you're ignorant of it, you don't know what it means, or you blatantly have no intention of obeying it, and you're uttering those vain words before God, you're going to be held accountable, and you're going to come under condemnation. And as I said, an organisation or a nation or a monarchy are free to put forward whatever views they want, but if you're going to have the title where people are looking to you as the representative, the defender of the Christian faith in a church, then all of a sudden you are putting yourself in a place where you're accountable before God. This is very confusing and problematic for people. We see in the Bible the leadership structures in a church in 1 Timothy chapter 3, and it talks about godly men who are committed to the faith, who are living the Christian life. And it talks about the equivalent today of what we would have as pastors and then elders, and you have accountability in place, and if someone strays from that, then there are processes in place to hold them accountable. Here we don't have that. We have someone who's acting as this head of this church, some sort of representative that is a defender of the faith and a supreme governor, and they're espousing things which are completely antithetical to the gospel. And this is very confusing, like I said, for people that have never even heard the gospel before. They don't even know what Christianity is. And the Bible warns against this when it says that it's better for you to cause, if you're going to cause one of these little ones to stumble, which can mean impressionable people and vulnerable people, that they're ignorant of what the gospel message is. If you're going to cause them to stumble, it's better for you to have a millstone hung around your neck and be thrown into the sea. You're better off dead. You're better off to not be deceiving people than to be in a position like this where you are deceiving people and you're going to be held accountable for it. That's terrifying. Like I said, if he's not making the claim to represent the church or Christianity in any way, then he's free to do what he wants. But once you do that, all of a sudden you're accountable. And this isn't even looking at his life. This isn't even looking at some of the things he's done. This isn't even looking at some of the positions he's taken. This is simply looking at the fact that the gospel is an exclusive coming to Christ, and he's claiming to defend that, yet he's actively promoting ecumenism and all sorts of faiths coming together, probably because it's more pleasing to the people, and that's what most rulers do. Now, as I said, William was actually asked in 2019 at an LGBT charity event, how would he feel if his children came out as gay or lesbian? And this is what he said: "I think you don't really start thinking about that until you are a parent. I think obviously fine by me." And he said it would be absolutely fine if that happened. And the point here is that we are seeing even the monarch moving away from traditional Christian values, embracing ecumenism, and in future generations most likely embracing liberal social issues which are antithetical to the gospel, which makes it even more problematic if they continue to call themselves defenders of the faith. And if Charles was being honest with himself, he would call himself, as he said, defender of faith, not defender of the faith. But I guess you have to take the oath in order to be king, and he's willing to say whatever, even if he doesn't mean it. But he will be held accountable one day, and I feel sorry for the people that are being led astray. And hopefully videos like this can shed light on that and bring people to the truth. The real gospel itself is the most wonderful message of hope and transformation. It's transformed my life and the lives of millions of others. I'm going to put a short video up on the screen which includes visuals if you want to hear the gospel presented properly. And if you've never heard it before, I pray that you would listen to it with an open heart and you would see the love of Christ and his offer, a free gift of salvation, and that today would be the day that you call upon him. God bless you, friends, and thank you for watching.